What were your most successful fundraising ideas? So the main fundraiser I did in the very beginning is I sent a letter that was explaining what I was going to do, and then asking boldly if they would support me. And I sent a letter to almost anyone I knew. I know it's a bit extreme, but usually when you send letters, there's a small percentage that will give. But if you send it to a bigger number, that's a bigger amount of people that are going to give. And I would say I was so surprised on who gave and who was not able to give. And so I think sending letters directly to people's houses, the best is if you can call and follow up and ask if your letter arrived and if they had any questions or wanted to talk about what was going to happen in your life next, or even if you send up a follow-up text. People have really said with a strategy, when you send up a follow-up message or call, it makes a huge difference in the percentage of people that are going to give. And so I just made a list of like 100 people, and I sent out a letter to everyone, had some pictures in there explaining what I was doing and explaining what Special Hope was. And that is my main fundraiser I ever did, actually. I was very lucky and had a lot of people react well to that letter. And each year, that was my first year I sent letters. And after that, I had a group of people that were giving monthly. I would say encourage monthly giving. It makes such a difference. If you can write a part that says monthly is the best way to give, because it gives consistency and the people stay connected. I think that's huge, because my monthly supporters made my fundraising each year much easier, because they continued to give and then they wanted to give more for each month. So I would say letters, and then once you're here, following up and sending sweet reminders and little pictures and stories, I think made a huge difference. What made fundraising fun and not stressful? So I do not like to ask people for money. I struggle to ask people for help. And so fundraising was something I was very scared of and daunted by, and told Special Hope I couldn't come because I was so nervous to fundraise, and they encouraged me just to try. And amazing things happened. So what made it more fun for me is reminding myself that you are asking them to join in. You're not asking them to give you money. You're giving them the opportunity to join in on what the Lord is doing. And that made it fun for me, because I was sharing a beautiful organization with people that they've never heard of, and giving them the opportunity to be a part of that and to make an impact through my work. And I think that made me more bold to ask, because I felt like if I didn't ask, I was taking away an opportunity from them that I never even gave them in the first place. And maybe the Lord did put it on their heart to give, and they've been looking for this, and all they need is for you to ask. And so that made fundraising much more meaningful and more fun for me, honestly. And helped me not be too stressed to ask. I think what makes it fun too is, let me see if this is the right section. Yeah, is to write updates. So once you come to Zambia, I think it's very important to give updates to your givers, because they're invested. They want to see what's happening. They want to know. But what makes it less stressful is to choose a way of updating people that you enjoy and that is not stressful for you. And so I wrote a lot of blogs, and that is pretty stressful for me. That is hard for me to articulate my words. So then I started doing some videos, and it was much more fun. And then one of our friends does a podcast, and so they just talk about Zambia and people tune in. And so I would say choose a form of sharing with others that you love. Maybe it's photography, and you just send one sentence about that picture. That's powerful. And I think something that I did not do well in is, because I chose writing blogs, it took me a long time to send them, and I got very nervous about them. And so, I think if you can do less, send a picture every 2 weeks that has a little description, that's pretty powerful. So just choose a mode of sharing that you enjoy. And I think that makes fundraising much more fun. Any organization tips when it comes to tracking money or funds? So what helped me is I did a Google Doc, and anytime anyone ever gave to me, I wrote it down in the Google Doc, their name and how much they gave. But then also usually you get a message from, or you will always get a message from whoever's doing collects the money in America for Special Hope, and they will send you a message saying this person gave, this is their address, this is their email, this is their phone number. And I also wrote that in the Google Doc. And so when I would send out cards at Thanksgiving that said thank you, I could just see everyone's address on my Google Doc instead of having to go back into my emails. That really helped me, and it helped me feel like I knew what I had fundraised. You do get monthly updates that says what has come in your name, and there also is the email and the address and the phone number. But I think it just helped me know, oh, I have this place where I've seen who's given, and I do one for each year, and then I can look back and say, who did I ask, or who was a one-time giver that I should ask again. And so Google Doc was really helpful for me. It was like a Google Excel sheet, and then it added up my total for me, so I never had to punch in numbers. I could just see where I was at for my goal.